Hey, so we're going to do something a little different today. Uh, Usually I do book reviews and I'll review one book at a time. In this case, I'm going to be reviewing two books at the same time because this video is going to be about the development of developmental psychology, at least from 1978 to 1999. Now, I read these two books together, uh, but I finished them both not that long ago. So the first book is Developmental Psychology: An Introduction by Howard Gardner. This was 1978. This is a hardcover. And the second book is Theories of Developmental Psychology, third edition by Patricia Miller. This was originally published in 93, but this is the sixth printing, which means it came out in 99. So what that says to me is that this was still valid in 1999. Now, the 1978 textbook, let's review it. This is very fact-oriented. It goes over the facts. It doesn't do much to encourage critical thinking. It's not very clear about the flaws in the theories it presents. It doesn't present the theories in very much detail. It does, however, present the facts that have been discovered, the scientific studies that had been discovered up to that point, that either confirm or go against the theories. It is structured in a way. It is structured with infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, and adolescence. And then the epilogue is actually mostly about adulthood. This one gives a clear-cut, straightforward view of development. So now we move on to Theories of Developmental Psychology. This one discusses the theories in detail, great detail. It discusses the history of the theory, the biography of the person who first popularized the theory or developed the theory. It discusses the methodology of the theory. It discusses the contributions to developmental psychology that each theory has made. And it discusses the strengths and weaknesses of the theory. And so this is great for comparison and contrast between different theories of developmental psychology. This book also discusses science itself and the philosophy of science. She actually makes mention of Thomas Kuhn, which is pretty cool because Kuhn is very underrated. But as far as critical thinking goes, first off, I was told to read the older textbook first because allegedly older textbooks did more to encourage critical thinking. So, of course, I read both of these books at the same time. I did start reading the 78 textbook first, and I also finished it first. But I finished them both within the hour, so. Now, with the difference between these two, there's a 21-year difference. If there is a decline in academia, if there was a decline in academia from the 70s to the 90s, we would expect to see 21 years of decline displayed in these two books, between these two books. And that's not what we see. We actually see an improvement. I do believe that the 1999 textbook is better because of its detail and because of how it describes not only the strengths but the weaknesses of the theories. And it also describes the philosophy of science. So I do believe that it does more to encourage critical thinking. And this book actually paves the way for new theories of development. That was the goal of this book. First off, using this book, you can more easily switch between theories so you don't get stuck in a particular mindset, a particular worldview, and become egotistical or egocentric. But secondly, you can combine the theories or take what you know about them and improve upon them. And that is very, very important. And the 78 textbook just doesn't do that. The 78 textbook is very much just give me the facts. Don't tell me what the weaknesses are. Don't tell me how I can improve things. Just give me the facts and we'll move on. So actually we see an inversion. It's not a decline, it's a raising up. Now, maybe there was a decline after the 90s. I would need a new textbook in order to know that for sure. But, I don't think so. A little bit more on these books. So, the 78 textbook describes fully Piaget's theory of stages. So, it describes every single substage of every stage. Now, the 1999 textbook only describes the substages of the first stage, which it calls periods. It calls the stages periods and the substages stages. However, this one does describe the substages in more detail. So if this one had described all of the substages, it would have been ideal. Ideally, you would read both of these textbooks because you need the facts. You need to know all the details of what we know and all the details of the substages and the stages of development. But you also need the full view that the 99 book gives, because together these create a more complete worldview. These create a more complete view of development. Combining the facts with the theories is ideal. That is how science is really supposed to be done. Anyway, that's about all. Thank you for watching. Peace.